Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this session on Python. Here we will be looking at this is mainly a course that we are targeting for beginners. So, those of you are absolutely new to Python and are interested in learning this programming language. So, next 5 sessions, we will be having 5 sessions starting today, where we will talk about the basic concepts of Python. So, we'll maybe start off with evolution. How did it start? A brief history of what is Python, and then we will get I will show you how to install the tool on your machine. How do you work with the tool? Okay, today the idea is just to give you a gist of what is it about, how it helps us, and then we will proceed further to installing the tool and some basic functions we will perform today. In the next session, we will be looking at different data types in Python. We will be looking at lists, set, dictionaries, okay, tuples, and then we will build on top of that. So, without much delay, I think we will get started. So, this may not be a new term to anybody who's watching this video, who's attending this session. Python has been around for a very long time now, more than 30 years. But it has, of course, become very popular over the past few years, and it is extensively used in the field of data analytics. Data scientists use it extensively, and of course, for AI. It is used in AI also extensively. It is used for developing apps, games, all these things. So let us look at a brief history and the uses of Python and its features, who uses Python today, and the installation steps. What are the different IDEs, the development environments, integrated development environments, which can be used once you have installed Python, which can be used to run the Python code. Because the tool Python by itself is not very user friendly when it comes to the GUI. The graphical user interface of it is very basic. It's more like command line prompt coding. Okay, when you go to command prompt on your machine, you get that black screen and you can type things over there, isn't it? So Python is also pretty much like that. Instead, we will use other IDEs, graphical user interfaces, which are slightly more easier to work with, slightly more user friendly, I would say, more user friendly. Okay, so let me get started here. Python, all of us know, is a very popular programming language these days, but it was developed in 1989. Imagine, it is a pretty old tool by Guido van Rossum while working at National Research Institute at Netherlands. So this is the person we need to thank, I think, for giving us such an amazing language through which so many things are being created, games, apps are being developed, so many startups, right? You have an idea, and if you know Python, you can go ahead, build your app with whatever idea you have. So this person has made all these things possible. However, officially it was made available to the public in 1991. So official birth date. Recently it celebrated its birthday, right? 20th Feb 1991. And this is the person, Guido van Rossum, the person who developed the programming language, who came up with the programming language. Why does Python live on land? Because it is above the sea level. So basically, it's just a joke. Sea level, and this is above sea level. Actually, C is the programming language. Again, if any of you is from CSC, computer science or IT background, or you've done your engineering, even if you're from ECE background, or I think even Triple E people, they learn C in their BTech program. They learn C. C is a very beautiful procedural language. We call it as a procedural language. And it is a very good way of getting yourself into the field of programming. Okay, the basics of programming, if you start off with C, you will be very thorough with it. Of course, you don't have to learn C, it is not mandatory, but it's a beautiful language actually. Logic wise, to think of how you approach the given problem, how to build a flow chart for it, how to write an algorithm for a given problem statement, and then how do you implement by using the code. be it C or Python. All these are similar steps in every tool. So Python is more popular than any other programming languages out there because it encompasses the good features, the interesting features of all the programming languages. Okay, it's like this person has picked up the best of everything and created Python. The name Python itself was selected for this tool. It's a very strange name, right? Why would someone call it Python? It's the name of a snake. But it was selected based on a TV show, The Monty's Python's Flying Circus, which was broadcasted in BBC. Again, from 1969 to 74. The language itself was developed in 89 and it became official in 91. So by then, this was a pretty popular show. So they picked up the word Python from here. So Guido developed Python language by taking almost all programming features from different languages. Functional programming features from C, object-oriented programming features from C++, scripting language features from Perl and Shell script, modular programming features from Modular 3, and most of the syntax in Python is derived from C and other languages. Okay, so lot of languages were taken into consideration. The best features, the best programming features of each of these languages were taken, and Python was born. Okay, Python was created. So maybe that is the reason it is so popular. And even after so many years, when most of the other languages are becoming obsolete, right? So nobody would be using C these days. I don't think anybody is using C++. They've all moved on to JavaScript, right? Um, Perl also not much. Modular 3, you may never even hear about it. Why are these languages kind of extinct now? And why is Python able to retain itself even after 30, 33 years out there in the market? Is because it has really amazing programming features and capabilities. It has a lot of packages. Python has a lot of packages, or you call it libraries. Okay. And what is a package? It is a pre-written code. It is pre-written. Okay. You just have to, for a given activity, you just need to invoke the package which already has pre-written code in it. All the functions, the methods, everything is already written. You just invoke the package, install and invoke the package, pass the data, and it will give you the output. So most of the things through these packages are taken care of. You just need to be familiar with which package to use for a given requirement, and everything is mostly done, taken care of. That is why this language is so popular, I would say. It is open source in the sense people can contribute to it continuously, people can contribute to it. They keep adding new packages to Python. Okay, and it keeps on getting enhanced. The community is also really huge. People who work on Python, and therefore the help that you get is also extremely huge. So the good capabilities, features of all: functional programming language, object-oriented programming language, shell scripting, modular programming features, everything is brought together to design this language called as Python. So I think there is no looking back for Python now. This is the future. Who can use this language? Who can use Python? It is used extensively in data analytics. People who want to, become a data analyst, who want to perform data analysis, they can learn Python. They should learn Python. It is mandatory skill now. Okay. So if you're training to be a data analyst, there are a few skills that are mandatory. You need to be familiar with databases and SQL to some extent. May not be advanced, but to some extent, you need to be familiar with SQL. You need to be familiar with Python. You need to know how to use the tool for analysis, for data analysis. And you need to know at least one of the data visualization tools in BI, like Power BI, Microsoft's product, or Tableau, which is now acquired by Salesforce. Excel, though it might seem very basic, when I say Excel, it might seem very basic, but Excel is also something that one needs to be familiar with if you are training to be a data analyst, because Excel is a very popular data storage thing. Okay, we can do analysis in Excel, but it is extensively used to store data. Though there are many other huge databases that have come into the market, Excel is always there. It's been around for a very long time, and people are very comfortable working on Excel. So, until and unless everybody decides to migrate to other databases, Excel is going to be around for quite a long time. Okay, so that is also something you have to train yourself upon. So you need to know Python, you need to know database language, that is SQL, and at least you should have worked on one or two databases. And one of the data visualization tools, either Tableau or Power BI, both would be good because the market is split between these two things. Okay, if half the people are using, half the organizations are using Tableau for their data visualization and BI requirements, the other half are using Tableau. So you need to learn both if possible. And of course, you need to know how to work with Excel. Okay. Machine learning, machine learning, and data scientists who do a lot of things around this, like prediction, forecasting. Okay, or they also need to learn Python. And compared to a data analyst, they will have to go a slight in at a more advanced level. Okay, if you're using it for AI applications, for developing AI applications, you need to be well versed with Python for this. And then building desktop apps, database apps, web applications, developing games. For all these things, you need to know advanced Python. You need to be well versed with every feature, every capability, every package that is in there, which you can use to build all these apps. Okay, as a developer. Now, as a data analyst, you surface level. As a data analyst, surface level, if you know how to use the tool, do some basic coding, basic programming, that is more than enough. Python is extremely easy to learn. It is just like it's just simple English language. Okay, if you know English, you can learn Python. It's as simple as that. Python is a very simple programming language. You just have to write the commands or type the commands in simple English language. Basic mathematics you should know, and you will be able to start using the tool. So when you read a Python program, let's say somebody else has developed a Python program and they've given it to you, you will feel as if you're reading English statements. It is nothing complex. There is nothing extremely complex about it. The syntax is very simple with about 30 plus keywords. When compared to other languages, we can write the programs with very less number of lines of code. I had started my career 18 years ago. I started as a mainframe developer. And we used to write programs in COBOL language in mainframes. COBOL language is used, procedural language. And programs used to be like, uh, 5,000 lines of code used to be something very small. If there was a program with 5,000 lines of code, that was considered to be a basic program. 24,000, 30,000, 50,000 lines of code in one program. In one program. Okay. So that is the number of lines of code that you have to write in most of the tools. But here, very less number of lines of code, you can do a lot of things. So it is much more easier to learn the language. It is more, it has more readability, and it is, of course, very, very simple. So we can reduce the development cost of a project, of course, when you use Python compared to the other languages. So capabilities of all these tools coming together, giving you a very advanced programming language, easy to use, easy to implement, easy to learn. That is Python. Now it is free and open source, which means if you want to download and install Python, you don't need to purchase any license. It is a freeware and it is open source. It is an open source programming language, so you can customize it based on your requirements. Now, Python is a high-level programming language. Therefore, it is programmer-friendly. And Does computer understand high level programming language? So now I'm speaking to you, I'm talking to you in English language, and you are able to understand whatever I'm saying because you're familiar with the language, isn't it? You're familiar with the language, so you're able to probably understand, definitely understand what I'm saying. Imagine if I were talking in some other language, if I were talking in French, if I was talking in Spanish, and you know English, you don't know French or Spanish. Will you be able to understand what I'm speaking? Whatever I've been saying for the past 15 minutes could sound gibberish, isn't it? What is she saying? It's all going out above my head. I can't understand a word of what she's saying. So, our high level language is the same to the computer. But we are going to write everything in English language. Then what to do? So what happens in real time? Let's say you're visiting a country and you don't know the language spoken by the people over there, or I'm speaking in a language that you don't understand. You will probably use a translator, right? Whatever I'm saying, the translator will translate it into your native language and you will be able to understand what I am saying. The translator will translate whatever I am saying into your native language, a language that you are familiar with, a language that you understand, and then you will be able to understand and then respond. And your response also has to be converted. I don't know your language, then it has to be converted through the translator. Okay. So when we are coding in high level language, machine doesn't understand it. There's a machine language, the low level language. Or the binary language, why call it low level? Let's call it machine language or binary language, right? What is binary language? What is binary language made of? English is made of alphabets. There are 26 alphabets, A to Z, and we use them. We create words, we make sentences, and we speak. What is binary language comprise? What does binary language comprise of? No responses. What does binary language comprise of? Zeros and ones. Okay, binary language comprises of zeros and ones. Imagine if I have to start talking to the computer in zeros and ones. For every small instruction, I'll be writing like the 0001112, sorry, 00001010. Imagine if I have to write like this. Imagine if we have to learn computer language, the binary language or low-level language which computer understands and communicate with it. It will take forever, isn't it? So what do we have in any machine? What do you have in any language? What do we have? We have either something called as a compiler or you have something called as an interpreter, right? You have an interpreter. So what does this compiler do? It takes the high level language, it converts it into the low level language or binary language, which the machine understands, right? It could be a compiler. What will a compiler do? It will take the entire block of statements that you have written. In one go, it will convert it to low-level language. Interpreter will interpret it statement by statement. So if something goes wrong, if you have written 10 statements and in the ninth statement there is a mistake, the compiler will roll back everything. All the 9 statements, it will compile again after you make the correction. But with an interpreter, you've written 10 lines of code. Ninth line is wrong. The 8 lines are interpreted. The 8 lines are interpreted and they're converted into low-level language for the machine to understand. Wherever you're getting the error, it will prompt you in that line to make the necessary change. You make the correction in the ninth line and then it will continue interpreting from there. Understood? So interpreter is better and Python uses interpreter. It is an interpreted language. Okay. So being a programmer here, we are not required to concentrate on low level activities like memory management or security or even interpretation and all that. It is all done by Python. The software contains all these capabilities. You just have to focus on learning the high level language. That is simple English like statements that you will give, and everything else is taken care of automatically. Okay. It is platform independent. Now, what do we mean when we say platform independent? You can run Python on any operating system. If you have a Windows machine, yes, you can install Python and run it. You have Linux, you can install Python on that. You have Mac, any operating system, you can install. It is compatible with almost all the platforms. Some tools are not. Okay, for example, if you take Power BI, which is a Microsoft product, it is not compatible with Mac. You can't install it on Mac. Okay, but such limitations are not there for Power BI. It is platform independent. And internally, PVM, Python virtual machine, is responsible to convert it into machine understandable form. As I told you, when we speak, the machine cannot understand our language. And if the machine starts giving outputs in zeros and ones, we will not understand it. Right? So there is something called as Python virtual machine, which is responsible to convert the statements that we type, the coding that we do, the lines of code that we write into machine understandable form. So Python programs are portable. We can migrate from one platform to another platform very easily. Let us say you have created something on Windows and you saved that file, and later you email the file, Python file, to a friend who's using Mac. No problem. They can open the Python file. All the Python files, they will have the extension .py. .py. So whatever name you give to the file, .py. Okay, they can simply open it on their respective operating systems, on their respective laptops, desktops, and they can run the code. There is absolutely no problem. You don't have to make any changes to your code just because it is being opened on a different platform. Like, for example, whether you book a cab using Ola or Uber or Rapido, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you have to travel to the destination. That is your target, right? It doesn't mean like if you're traveling with Ola, you'll go to a different destination. If you take Uber, they'll take you to a different destination. No, all of them will take to the destination where you want to reach. So you would have written program for a particular activity. No matter on which platform you run the program, it will give you the same output. It will give you the same output. Okay. It is dynamically typed. What does this word dynamically typed mean? Again, all of you may not understand it right away, but if anybody knows, is from SQL background or is from any other programming language background, you will know that when you're declaring variables, you have to specify the type of the variable. Like, let's say I have to store the name of a person, then I have to declare the variable as character and it will have 20 characters in length. If I'm having a variable storing the salary of the person, I have to declare that it is float, means it could have decimal places. If, let's say, I'm giving an identification number, I have to declare that it will contain an integer. Date of joining of a person into a company, I have to declare that this will hold date. Okay, so we have to declare the type of the data that variable is going to hold. We have to declare and tell the system upfront the type of the data that each of these fields will hold. That it will hold a character, means text data, it will hold numbers with decimals, it will hold whole numbers only, it will hold date or timestamp or Boolean values like true and false. Right? We have to declare, but this is not the case with Python. In Python, you need not declare the type of the variable, not required to declare. Whenever you assign a value to the variable, right, based on the value that you are assigning to it, the data type is automatically allocated. So it is dynamically typed language. Suppose I'm declaring a variable called as employee ID. Okay, and I'm assigning a value of 1001. I'm just saying employee ID and assigning 1001. So this is automatically taken as an integer. I'll show it to you practically, but just giving you an idea. If I declare a variable called name and assign the word, my name is Bhargavi, I'll assign Bhargavi there. What will happen? This variable is automatically going to be marked as string, means it is holding alphabetical or alphanumerical data. Now, do you notice any difference between what I typed over here and what I typed over here? Do you notice any difference between these two? The way I have given the input. Is the session recording available? One of you has asked. Asha, yes. This is a live session, and after the session is over, you will get the recording also. It will be there in our channel. So if anybody has not yet subscribed to the channel, I request you all to do consider subscribing, because such events keep happening frequently and you will be able to benefit out of it. Any responses here? Do you notice anything different? Yes, Om, correct, correct. So the second statement, if you notice, right, the second one that I have given here, name, I enclosed it in double quotes. I enclosed it in quotes. Right? I enclosed it in quotes means whenever something is string data type, textual data or alphanumerical data, alphabetical data, right? You have to enclose it in double quotes. That is how it knows it is string data. Okay. And this one, I did not enclose it in double quotes. This is numerical. Whether it has decimals or no, numbers, you will not enclose it in quotations. The moment you enclose it in quotations, it will be considered as a string. The moment you enclose, if I enclose this in quotes here, no, this will also be considered to be string. Okay. And this is common with all the tools. Okay, a string, you enclose it in quotes. Numerical, you will not enclose it in quotes. All right. For Java, C, and many other languages, they are statically typed languages because you have to provide the type at the beginning itself. That is not the case with Python. Depending on the value that you're assigning to it, the type is automatically decided. Dynamic typing nature will provide more flexibility to the programmer. Okay. Just a moment. I was uninstalling Python so that I can install and show it to you. Just a moment. Let me. Yeah, it will happen in the background. Let's look at other features. So it has the capabilities of both procedure oriented as well as object oriented. What does it mean and all? We will see with examples, or don't worry much about the jargon here. Python, it supports something called as procedure oriented approach like C, and also object oriented approach like Java and C++. So here there are objects or packages. Okay, here you write the procedure. Both the features are there when you get into Python. We'll see how. Hence, we get the benefits of both the programming types or styles of programming, whether it is procedural or object oriented, security, reusability, all these will be there. You design a piece of code, you call it a package, and you can keep calling that package again and again, reuse it for a given purpose. As I told you, it is interpreted, right? We are not required to compile Python program explicitly. Internally, Python interpreter will take care of the compilation. What is it called? Python virtual machine. Okay, it will take care of everything. If compilation fails, interpreter raise syntax errors. Once the compilation is successful, then the Python virtual machine is responsible to execute. It will execute the statement. So high-level language, you will write it in high-level language, like here, you're assigning some value and writing a loop kind of a thing. The interpreter is one that converts it into low-level language, which is understandable by the machine. And if there are no syntax errors and everything has gone well, then Python virtual machine will go ahead and execute that code. Okay, this will only interpret and convert it into low-level language, and it will check for syntax errors, if any. If there are syntax errors, it will prompt you. If there are no syntax errors, then it will be executed and you will get the result. You will be able to see the output. It has rich inbuilt library. There are a lot of packages, as I told you. Again, if you have been doing any research from your side, you might have heard something called as pandas. Okay, there's something called as numpy. There's something called as matplotlib. There's something called as seaborn. Many other. So this is a package. This is a package, okay, which with pre-written code. Pandas will help in reading and writing data from files. You want to import data from a file into Python, and or you want to write the data that you generated in Python outside of it. You want to share it outside of it. So pandas for reading and writing. NumPy to do some basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponents, all that. Matplotlib to create basic charts like a bar graph. So this is used a lot in data visualization. Matplotlib, bar graph, or line chart. Okay, simple charts like that. Histograms also. And advanced graphs if you have to do. Violin plot, um, QQ plot, density plot, pair plot. So you want advanced charts, then you go with C1. Like that, there are about 20, 25, I would say, very important libraries, very interesting libraries, which will help us. So it has a rich inbuilt library. Being a programmer, you can use the library directly, and we are not responsible to implement that functionality that is taken care of. You will just call the library, and it will take care of things for you. So who uses Python today? Can you name a few companies that use Python? Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Quora, Netflix, Dropbox. The list is never ending. All the major players, all the major players, they use Python. The apps are built using Python programming language. Okay, internally Google and YouTube use them. YouTube is now acquired by Google, of course. They use Python. NASA and Network Stock Exchange, NSE, they also use Python. They are using apps from Python. And of course, you have other companies like Industrial Light and Magic. But Facebook, Instagram, everybody is familiar with. Okay, Netflix, everybody uses it. So we all know. Dropbox, we use for our files and all. Spotify for listening to music. Quora, it has become now a go-to platform, right? If you want to get reviews about something or you want to ask a question, you just go and put it on Quora and Quora, and you'll get the answer there. So people consider it to be pretty genuine also. I don't know, but yeah, it's considered to be pretty genuine. Anyway, and the list goes on and on. So what are we going to install now is first we'll install Python. Um, and while we are installing, we will talk about Anaconda, okay? I just want to uninstall everything so that I can show it to you all from the scratch. This will take just about a minute. Okay, if you have to install Python, how will you do it is you can just go to your internet browser and search for download Python. Okay, just download Python, search for this. The very first link, python.org, the very first link, you click there, it will take you here. And if you scroll down, you will be able to see various releases, the latest releases of Python. So you can see that they're releasing pretty often. You can see a new version is released pretty often with newer features and newer capabilities. Suppose you're looking for a specific release, you want a slightly older version of Python for whatever reason, you can go here and download the corresponding file. Okay. These are all the sponsors. Google, Meta, NVIDIA, Bloomberg Engineering, all of this. So the latest is 3.13.2. Okay, 3.13.2. So when you click on that, when you click on this button, first of all, the executable file will be downloaded onto your machine. And see how fast it is happening. So it's not a very big file. When you click here, you can download it. It's not a very big file, 27 MB, 27.3 MB, that's all. Okay, I'll give you all the link here. Or you could simply search for download Python and it will take you here. You just click on this button, as you can see. Hopefully all of you are able to see here, right in the middle of the screen. Okay, over here we have it. download Python. The version is 3.13.2. So you can click on that and the executable file will first be downloaded onto your system. Now, when I go to my downloads folder, you see there, it is here. Okay, now I just need to run it. Okay, I just need to double click on it in order to run it. Once I double click, I'll go ahead and say I want to install it. Install it, the first option, and it will get installed. It's a it is a simple installation wizard, okay? So Python is free. It is free for both individual users. If you and I are downloading it for onto our laptops, we will use it personally. So it is free for individual users. It is also free for organizations. Okay, anybody can download Python and anybody can install Python and they can start using it. No problem at all over there. But the problem is the user interface of Python is not very user friendly. It is more like command line coding and not very user friendly. So it has a single user interface, which is not very friendly again. And the libraries, not all libraries. As I told you, Python is a collection of libraries and packages. Not all libraries would be installed. Okay, some standard libraries might be there, but not all of them. So there is a chance that you will keep getting errors saying so and so library is missing, so and so library is missing. Okay, and then I think while uninstalling, I might have messed up something. It will tell you that so and so library is missing. Now, when something is missing, to trace back and to figure out what the problem is and all that, it will take some time. Okay, instead, we can download and install something called as Anaconda. So what is this? This is built by an organization, by the company Anaconda. And what happens is the libraries are pre-installed into it. All the libraries are pre-installed. Okay. The libraries are pre-installed over here. It is free for individuals. Anaconda is free for individuals, but not for corporates. They will have to purchase it. Corporates will have to purchase it. Okay. And all the libraries, they come pre-installed. And because it is, if you search for download Anaconda, okay. Again, the very first link you can click upon. And over here on this page, you can click on free download. Okay, or you can just skip registration after that. It's not necessary to give your email address and all. You can just click on skip registration. Let me show it to you. Okay, so free download, it's bringing me back to the same page. So I'll just say skip registration and you click on this download button. You click on this download button. Again, this is available for Windows. It is available for Mac. It is also available on Linux. Okay, it is compatible with all the operating systems. So whatever it might be, you can simply go ahead and click on download. You don't even have to go to the respective place. See, you just click on this green download button over here. It will identify what is your operating system and accordingly, it will download the correct version. Okay, whether you're having a 64-bit and whatever it might be that you're using, it will identify and it will download the correct version. You just have to click on download. Once you have clicked on download, this file is huge. So it might take some time for it to be downloaded. This application, you can see, it is pretty huge. Unlike Python, which is a smaller app, this is huge. So if there are any new versions of Python released, if there are any errors that would come because of version mismatch, all these are taken care of. And unlike Python, which has a single user interface, which is more like command line coding, Anaconda has a lot of user interfaces. The graphical user interface options that you have to do Python coding or programming using Anaconda, you have n number of options. You can do it on something called a Spider or Jupyter Notebook. Okay, there is PyCharm. There's PyCharm. Like that, there are many graphical user interfaces which you can use. Anything that you feel comfortable with, you can use that, which comes here when you install Anaconda, and you can work with it. Okay. Spider would be better if you ask me. As a beginner, I think Spider would be better. Once you get comfortable with the tool, then you can proceed to using other things like Jupyter Notebook or PyCharm or anything like that. So this is the downloadable file. I've already downloaded it from here because it's a big file. It takes some time to download. Okay. So after you have downloaded it from your downloads folder, you can simply run the executable file. Now, when you run the executable file, you see this? It is asking, this is the installation setup, the wizard. I'll just click on next, agree, accept the terms and conditions. Just me, nothing to change over here. Install for just me, next. And in that particular path, it will try to go and create the directory. And if at all that is not free, it will prompt you like this saying, this is not empty, choose a different location. In case you people are also getting this kind of a message or a prompt where it is asking you to choose a different location, you can go to browse. Okay. And you could choose a different location. So I'll go to my PC, this PC. In that, I will go to the C drive. Okay, I'm going to the C drive. And inside this C drive, I'll create a new folder. I'll call it Anaconda 3, enter, and click on OK. So I'm asking it to use this as the destination folder to keep all the program files necessary for this tool to work on my system. Install. Installation also might take some time, okay? Okay, anybody who's trying it now can try it. If you're having or facing any difficulty, you can let me know. I'll try to help you out. So you just go there on that link and you just click on the green color download button, depending on what operating system you are using, depending on what type of machine you have, it will accordingly download the correct file for you. You just have to run the executable file and follow the instructions on the wizard. Next. Here you may be prompted to choose a different directory. If at all it's asking you to choose a different directory, create a new directory in some other location and it will install. You can see here it is still in progress, setting up the package. Okay. And finally, when you come to the end, it will show you the status as completed. Then you click on next and then you click on finish. Okay, you click on next and you click on finish. After that, when you launch the Anaconda Navigator, there are multiple IDEs, integrated development environments in Anaconda Navigator. So there is, it'll look like this. Anaconda Navigator looks like this. You can choose Spider, you can choose Jupyter Notebook. Okay, you can choose, I think PyCharm is not here. On the latest, now that we are installing, we'll have different options here. PyCharm over here. Okay, so there are many, anything that we want, we can choose. Try using Spider for now. So it is still in progress for me. No, no. If you have an older version, you don't have to uninstall it. You can install the latest version. It will automatically upgrade. Okay. You need not uninstall any older versions. You can keep installing newer versions. No problem. No problem. Okay, so for today, we will do the installation part and we'll open the tool. Hopefully, it will be done and we'll open the tool and we will do some basic one or two things only. Okay. Tomorrow, we'll get into the coding part full swing. Yeah, yeah. VS Code is also fine. You can use it, Madhulika. No problem. Why doesn't it support Anaconda? Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can use VS Code is fine. You can use it. Okay, you can see here it is completed. So I'll click on next. After completed, unlike other wizards which usually close, right, or give you the finish option, here you have to click on next, next, and then finish. So it's going to launch Anaconda Navigator. Now, this launching of the Navigator for the very first time when we are doing it, this also can take some time. Even launching the Navigator could take some time initially. But then from the second time onwards, the next time you open it, it will get launched very fast. So if I try now, if I go here and try to launch the Navigator, right? This is the icon for Anaconda Navigator. You see this icon, green color circle that you're looking at. First time it will take it takes quite a lot of time to launch initially, but then it will become faster from the next time onwards. Sometimes you may have to restart your machine also. Sometimes you may have to restart your system. Okay, over here, luckily it has opened up. So you can see we have PyCharm, which we have to install if we want to use. I will close this. Sign in for AI coding help and all, not required for now. We'll close it. So you have Spider here, right? There is Jupyter Notebook over here. Okay. So you have quite a few interfaces. Now I'm going to launch Spider. This is what we will use and this is what we will be working with. All right. If any of you already using PyCharm, or if any of you is already using Jupyter Lab or Notebook, if anybody is already using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, fine, no problem. Or if you simply want to use Python command line editor, that is also fine, absolutely fine, no problem. So I'll just go ahead and click on launch corresponding to Spider. I'm going to click on launch. It will open up the interface for us. This is what the interface will look like. Okay, this is what the interface will look like. We can type the commands over here, or we could type the commands over here. This is a temporary scripting file that got created. Comments are written. If you have to write a comment, you prefix it with a hash mark. Okay, a comment is prefixed with a hash mark. If you have to write a comment that is going to span across multiple lines, then three quotes, then you write your comment, and then you end it with three double quotes. Okay, so as you can see here, you have three double quotes, then you have spider editor, and this is a temporary script file. This is the comment, and then you close the comment over here. If it is a single line per comment, you just put a hash mark. If it is a multi-line comment, then you can enclose it like this between quotes, three. Now, suppose I would like, if I want to type something in this spider editor and I want to see the output here. Okay, here you have the editor where you can type in your code and you can see the output over here. Here itself, you can even code. Even here also, you can do the coding. Let me show you first from here. I just want to know what is 5 plus 5. I just want to know what is 5 plus 5. Now, how do I run this? You can see a play button here, but if you run that, it will not work. It is running the entire file and all the code in that entire file. Okay, no, not this. So I'll just go here and go to this command. Run current cell. Run current cell. And you can see after running the particular line of code, it is giving me the output as 10. So you can write it over here. Suppose I want to get 10 multiplied by 5 and I'll run this. It will run that command and give me the output here on the console. All right. You can even increase the size of the console. Look at the mouse pointer. When I go here, between this and this, you can see a line there. When I go there, look at that. It's a double arrow mouse pointer, and you click there and you can increase it in size. So instead of writing it over here, I could give the input command I could give the input command over here also. Suppose I say 5 plus 5. It will give me the output directly over there. I don't even have to go and hit the run button or the button to execute the command. Okay, for basics. Now, whether you directly give 5 plus 5 or you give 5 plus 5 with a space, both are fine. Both are the same. Always try to use a space. It is considered to be a best practice. It looks easier to understand. Okay, here you may not find much difference. How does this matter? But when you're writing really huge program, a lot of lines of code, no? The more neatly you write it, the more easier it will be for you yourself to go back and refer to it. Forget about somebody else auditing your project, some auditor coming from outside and externally auditing your project. Yeah, for you yourself, it will become very easy to understand. Okay. Now, suppose I have to create a variable. If I want to create a variable, so for example, a variable a, and I'm assigning a number 10 to it. Enter. Automatically, when I go to variable explorer, automatically you see I never said a is an integer. I just said a and assigned. Equal to is the assignment operator. Equal to sign is the assignment operator. You're assigning values. Okay. So I assigned a number 10 to a, and look at the data type. So it is a dynamically typed thing, right? Not static. So based on the value, it is automatically assigning the data type. Now, suppose to the same variable a, if I give 10 enclosed in quotations in double quotes, this is going to be treated as a string. Look at the data type, it changed to a string. Okay, anything that you pass in double quotes will be considered a string. Suppose I just want to print, to see the output. Suppose I just want to print 5 plus 5. It will give me the answer as 10. Okay, even if you don't write print, it will give you, but print is to print something. Suppose I just wanted to print an output called as hello world. Look at that. So directly printing, we are not assigning any variable. I could also assign a variable. I can create a variable called message, hello world. Okay, I'm assigning the hello world to a variable called as message. You can see up here in the variable explorer, string variable is automatically created. The name of the variable is message and the value inside the variable is hello world. Now, if I say print message, okay, what will it do? It will print hello world. It will print the value that is stored in that variable hello world. So when something is a variable, can we change the data? Yes. So if I say message equal to how are you? Okay. And now if I say print message, up arrow key to repeat the command. Okay. If you don't have to type it all the time, press the up arrow key, it will come. Print message. What will it print now? How are you? Why not hello world? Because it will look at the latest value that is assigned to the variable. Whatever is the latest value that you have assigned to the variable, that is what will be stored over there. Okay. Suppose I give message like this. Now here, if you notice, the letter M is uppercase. The letter M is uppercase, rest of it is lowercase. And I'll say hello world here. Then what will happen? Do you think the previous variable will be replaced? No, a new variable called as message is created. So what is the point you need to understand here? What is the point that you are able to figure out when you see this? It is case sensitive. This is case sensitive. Okay. So if whether you're using uppercase or you're using lowercase, you need to be careful. It is case sensitive. All right. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So I think we'll stop here. This was just basic introduction to the tool. Hopefully all of you have installed whatever. Okay. Visual Studio Code is also fine. Python command line coding you want to do, that is also fine. But I would prefer you launch, instead of Python, you use Spider if possible, or Jupyter Notebook if you're using already, or PyCharm if you're using already. Okay, you can continue with that. So tomorrow we will get into slightly advanced topics. We will be looking at list, we will be looking at tuples, we will be looking at dictionary, we will be looking at if time permits, we will also cover sets. Okay, these are again different types, types of data types. We know basic data types like string. I'm sure all of you know. Like string is for textual data. And if it is numerical, it is either integer or float. Suppose I reassign 10 to A, it becomes an integer. Suppose I'm creating B, which is 10.5. It is going to be stored as a floating number. Float means it has decimals. It allows for decimals, right? The moment there's a decimal, it is float. So these are basic data types, Boolean and such things. But we have some other data types here, which we will see in the next session. So thank you all so much. I hope this was informative. If you have any doubts or questions, you can always put it in the chat box. After the session is over, also the video will be available for you to watch. Okay, you might find it under live sessions, previous live sessions that are there. And if anybody has not yet subscribed, I would really request you all to kindly consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.